Start with threads today in today's session. Okay, here the thread is a basic unit of CPU utilization. Okay, we have discussed that what is process. Process is a program under execution, right? Program under execution is called as process. Okay, what is thread then? Thread is a basic unit of execution is called thread. Okay, thread is a basic unit of execution is called as thread, and program under execution is called process. Okay, if you see the difference between the process and thread, each program will have number of processes associated to it. Okay, a program may have number of processes associated with it, whereas process can have number of threads executing in it. Okay, that is the difference between the process and thread. Okay, process is a program under execution and thread is a basic unit of execution, and thread is also called as thread is a basic unit of CPU utilization is called as thread. Okay, now we have seen what is thread, right? Thread is a basic unit of execution, or we can say the thread is a basic unit of CPU utilization is called thread. Okay, now what makes the thread? Okay, what the thread consists of, we'll be discussing now. Thread is, it comprises a, every thread will be having a thread ID, program counter, and a register set and a stack. Okay, thread is a which comprises of a thread ID, program counter, register set, and a stack. Okay, and it shares its code session and data session. Data session and code session will be shared by the thread here. Okay, and other operating systems like open file and signals with other threads belongs to the same process. It will be sharing the resources. Okay, thread is nothing but it is a thread comprises the thread ID, program counter, register set, and a stack. Okay, and it shares the code session and data session. It shares the code session as well as data session. Not only that, and other operating system resources also it will be shared with the threads within the same process. Okay, a process can have number of threads executing in it, right? If a single thread, a thread can have the thread ID, program counter, register set, and a stack. Okay, and it shares the code session and data session and other operating system resources with open file signals with other threads belongs to the same process. Okay, in the same process with other threads, a thread will share the operating system resources. Okay, and if we say the thread is a, like if it is a traditional process, we call it as a heavyweight process. Traditional process is also called as heavyweight process. Okay, it has a single thread of control. Okay, traditional process will be having a single thread. Okay, only one thread will be executing in the process. Okay, if a process has multiple threads of control, it can perform more than one task at a time. If it is only single thread, only one task it can perform at a time. Whereas if the process have many number of threads inside it, it can perform multiple tasks. Okay, but the traditional process, heavyweight process, will be having a single thread of control. Okay, that's about thread. Thread, understood, right? Thread definition. Thread is a basic unit of CPU utilization, or we can also say that thread as a basic unit of execution is called as thread. Okay, a program under execution, we call it as process. Okay, each process will have number of processes associated with it, whereas a process can have number of threads executing in it. Okay, that is difference between thread and process. We'll see this with the diagram. Yeah, you can see here single thread process and multi-threaded process. Here in this single thread process, we have discussed, right? A thread is comprised of thread ID and program counter, register set, and a stack. Okay, a thread will be having a register set, stack will be there. Every thread will have its own stack and registers. Okay, and which will share the resources like code and data are the resources, and operating system resources like files and all, which will shares with the other process in the uh, which will shares with the other threads in the same process. Okay, resources will be shared with other threads in the same process. Whereas in the single threaded process, whatever the resources are there, all that resources will be for only one thread. Okay, if it is only one thread, it will perform only a single task at a time. Okay, every thread will be having its own registers and stack, and it will be sharing some resources which is provided by the operating system, like code, data, files will be shared. Okay, for performing that task, resources will be used to perform that task. This is single threaded process. Whereas you can see here the multi-threaded process. Here, the advantage of multi-threaded process is which can perform more than one task at a time, because it has multiple threads in it. Okay, multi-threaded process can perform more than one task at a time because it has multiple threads in it. Okay, each thread will perform a single task. And here you can observe one more thing, that each thread is associated with its own register and stack. Here, this thread also, it has its own register and it's a stack. And this also, it is having its own register and a stack. But here we have the resources are shared among the all three threads. The resources are code, data, and operating systems resources are shared among the threads inside the process. Okay, here in this example we have inside, this is a complete, this is called a process. Inside this process we have three threads running. Okay, three threads are running means it can perform three tasks at a time. Okay, to perform these tasks, these resources will be shared among these threads. Okay, whereas in this single threaded process, you will be having a single thread running in the process. It will perform a single task at a time, and it will only use the all the resources, code, data, files will be used by only this single thread. Okay, not only that, here we need to remember is a thread will be associated with a register, stack, and a program counter, and each thread will be having a thread ID. Okay, what the each thread will be having, individual thread will have a its own thread ID, unique thread ID will be there for every thread, and a program counter, register set, and stack will be there. Okay, this is for only especially for a single thread. Okay, whereas this thread also shares its code and data session with other threads in the process. Okay, you can see here in this diagram. It is sharing, here we have the three threads running in the process. It is sharing the code, data, files to other threads also in the process. Okay, understood, right? This thread concept. Thread is a basic unit of CPU utilization. Our thread, also called as basic unit of execution, is called as thread. Okay, we some places we refer it as thread as a basic unit of execution. some place they will say that the thread is a basic unit of CPU utilization. And here one more thing we need to remember is difference between process and thread. Okay, till now we have studied that process concept, where we have learned is process is program under execution. Okay, each program can have number of processes associated with it. Okay, and a process can have number of threads executing in it. Okay, here we have a, this is a single process, and it has multiple threads executing inside this process, and each thread will be performing a single task at a time. Okay, this is about threads. And motivation for threads. Here, many software packages that run on the modern desktop PCs are multi-threaded. Okay, because what we are running is our we want our task should be executed fast. Okay, if you want to run our program to be executed fast, if you use the single threaded system, it will be execute only one task will be executing for more time. Okay, you and we have also discussed that task can be divided into different parts and it can be executed by the different processes. Okay, if it is not like that, in a single process itself, if you want to execute the large task, the task can be assigned by different threads. Okay, so that a single multiple threads will execute the single task. Okay, so that the task can be completed very fast. Okay, that motivate us to learn this threads concept. Okay, an application is implemented as a separate process with several threads of control. Like for this example is web browser is the example. Okay, here this application is implemented as a several separate processes with several threads of control. Each process will be having again several threads running inside it. Okay, an application can be implemented as a separate process. Okay, and each process will be having several threads which will be controlling that process. Okay, and might have one thread to display images. Like here, if we say in a web browser as an example, it may have one thread will display the image or text, while another thread is retrieving the data from the network. Okay, at a time in application, multiple tasks will be executed because of this multi-threaded concept. Okay, one thread will be performing one task, the same time another thread will be performing another task. Okay, if we have number of threads, the task can be, we can execute the task very fast. Okay, and as process creation takes more time than thread creation. Okay, it is more efficient to use the process that contains multiple threads. Okay, process creation, if you, we have discussed that a single task can be executed by multiple process by dividing the task to different process. If you distribute the task, that can be, each process will execute the task so that the we can execute the task very fast, like that we have discussed till now. But what it says, process creation itself will take more time than creating a thread. Okay, so instead of going for creating the process as multiple processes, better we can create the multiple threads. It is more efficient to use, okay, process that contains multiple threads, so that the amount of time that client have to wait for its request to the service from the web server will be less. Okay, instead of going for creating multiple processes, better to create a multiple threads inside a process. Okay, and threads also play an important role in the remote procedure calls. Okay, this is the this made us to come with the concept called threads. Understood, right? Next, benefits of threads. Here we have four main benefits for the threads. Okay, the benefits of multi threaded programming is, first one is responsiveness. Here, responsiveness means the multi-threading allows program to continue running even if part of it is blocked. Okay, multi-threaded programming will allow the program to continue running even a part of it is blocked. Okay, one part may be here in multi-threaded program, a task will be executed by the multiple threads. Okay, if one thread is blocked, other threads will be executing the same task. Okay, and is performing a lengthy operation, thereby increasing the responsiveness to the users will be increased. Okay, so the responsiveness will be very fast. Multiple threads are running allows program to continue running even if a part of it is blocked and is performing a lengthy operation, thereby increasing the responsiveness to the users, because multiple threads are running executing a single task. So even one thread is blocked, other threads are working, so they will be so that creates the responsiveness, that will increases the responsiveness. Okay, that is the one benefit of a thread, multi-threaded programming. Next, another benefit of multi-threaded programming is resource sharing. Okay, whereas resource sharing, there are we have discussed, right? Thread shares the memory resources of the process to which they belong. Okay, using the diagram we have discussed here. Here you can see the resources are code, data, and operating system resources like files and memory. These will be shared among the other threads inside the same process. Okay, the thread shares the memory resources of the process to which they belong. Okay, and the benefit of sharing the code and data is that it allows an application to have several different threads of activity within the same address space. Okay, because we are sharing the resources in the same address space, we can have multiple threads can run. Okay, that is the advantage of having threads, that is resource sharing. Okay, next, another benefit of threads is economy. Economically also it is a beneficial. How it is economically beneficial? Because of resource sharing, context switching, and thread creation are the fast when working with the threads. Okay, we have just discussed, instead of creating the multiple processes, better to create a multiple threads to do a task. Okay, if the task is so big, we create multiple processes to execute the task, so that we think that the task can be executed very fast. But what they are saying is creating the process will take more time than creating a threads inside a single process. Okay, so if you have a single process, we can create n number of threads inside it. Okay, so instead of going for creating a different process, better to create a multiple threads, so that will reduces the cost, and fast of work also can be done very fast. Okay, that is economical benefit. Next one is scalability. Scalability is nothing but utilization of multiprocessor architectures. Here, threads can run in parallel. Okay, threads will execute the task at a time. Okay, different same task can be executed by the multiple threads. Okay, and all the threads will run in parallel on different processes. Okay, the multi-threading on multi CPU machine increases the concurrency. The we have we all the threads are running concurrently, so that the work will be done more efficiently and more fast. Okay, with the with this multi-threading concept, we can perform the execute the task very fast, and creating the threads inside the process also is faster than the creating a multiple processes. Okay, these are the benefits of multi-threading concept. Yeah. Next concept we have is multi-threading models. Okay. Here we have two types of threads. One is user thread, other one is kernel threads. Okay. Here, support for the threads may be provided either at the user level for user threads, and if the support is provided for the threads at the kernel level, those threads are called kernel threads. Okay. Mainly the threads are of two types: user threads, other threads are kernel threads. Okay. Support for the threads may be provided by the user level, then it is for user threads. Support for the threads may be provided at kernel level for kernel threads. Okay, threads. Okay, threads we have two types. One is user threads, other one is kernel threads. Okay, the user threads are created and managed by the thread libraries without the kernel support. Okay, we'll discuss this thread libraries in the next session. Okay, the user threads are created and managed by the thread libraries without the kernel support. Okay, and kernel threads are directly managed by the operating system. Kernel threads are directly managed by operating system here. Okay, but user threads are created and managed by thread libraries. With the library support, the user threads will be created and managed. Okay, without the kernel support. Okay, whereas kernel threads are directly managed by operating system itself. Okay, there must be a relationship between the user threads and kernel threads. Okay, that relationship can be established by three common ways. Okay, that is many to one to one, many to many. Okay, these are the three common ways we can establish relationship. Okay, that is many to one to one, many to many. Okay, we'll see that one by one. Many to one. Okay, here the name itself says that many user level threads will be mapped to the single kernel thread. Okay, that is many to one relationship. Okay, many user level threads will be mapped with a single kernel thread. Okay, this model is efficient as the thread management is done by the thread library, okay, in the user space, but the entire process will block if the thread makes a blocking system call. Here the difficulty with this many to one relationship is if any one of the user thread calls a blocking system call, that time other threads in the process cannot do their task. Okay, because one user thread is called a blocking system call, so it blocks the complete all the threads in the process. Okay, so this is the disadvantage with many to one relationship. Okay, understood, right? Here many to one means many user level threads will be mapped to the single kernel. In that time, if any one user level thread invokes a blocking system call, that time complete process will be blocked here. Okay, as only one thread can access the kernel thread at a time here, because we have only single kernel. So only one thread can at a time access the kernel. If one thread blocks the kernel, all other thread, if we have the multiple n number of threads also, it is waste, because they can't perform the task, because the kernel is blocked by a single thread. Okay, here the multiple threads are unable to run in parallel on the multiprocessors, because as we have one thread can access the kernel thread at a time, so multiple threads are unavailable to run in parallel on multiprocessor system. We have only one kernel, multiple user threads, one kernel thread and multiple user threads. For this example is Solaris green threads and GNU portable threads are the example for many to one. Okay, here we'll be having many user level threads mapped to the single kernel thread. We can see this with the diagram. You can see here we have many number of user threads. Okay, all these user threads will be mapped to the single kernel thread. Okay, this is many to one relationship. Okay, we'll be having many user level threads are mapped to the single kernel thread. Okay, this model is efficient as the thread management is done by the thread library in the user space. Okay, but entire process will be blocked if a thread makes a blocking system call. If it thinks that this is thread 1, thread 2, thread 3, thread 4, all are running, but only one thread can run at a time. Only one thread can use the kernel thread at a time. Okay, if this thread one blocks executes the blocking system call, that time all other threads are inside the process will be waste. They can't perform the task because thread one is blocked the kernel thread, because we have only one kernel thread and multiple user threads in many to one model. Okay, to overcome that, we go with another model, that is one to one model, where here in this one to one model, each user level thread maps to a kernel thread. Okay, we can see the diagram, we'll understand. Yeah, each user thread will be having a single kernel thread here. Okay, each user level thread will be mapped with its own kernel thread. Okay, and it provides more concurrency than many to one model. Okay, in many to one model, if one blocks, others cannot execute their tasks. Others also should be waiting until that is released, that blocked kernel will be released by that thread. Okay, whereas in one to one model, every user thread will be having its own kernel thread. Okay, each user level thread will be mapped to the kernel thread, and it provides more concurrency than many to one model by allowing the thread to run when a thread makes a blocking system call. Okay, if this thread makes a blocking system call, only this kernel thread will be blocked. Other threads will can run at the same time concurrently. Other threads can do their tasks. Okay, these threads does not need to wait until this blocking is released. Okay, only this thread has invoked the blocking system call, so only this process will be blocked. This task will be blocked. Other tasks can be executed concurrently in one to one model. Okay, and it allows multiple threads to run parallel on multi-processor system. Okay, this will allow multiple threads to run in parallel on multi-processor system, whereas that many to one, if one blocks, others cannot run. Okay, it was blocking that multiple threads to run in parallel on multi-processor system. Okay, but one to one model will allows multiple threads to run in parallel on multi-processor system. That is one to one model. Understood, right? And here in this one to one model also, there is a drawback. That is, creating a user thread requires creating corresponding kernel thread. For every user thread, we need to create a kernel thread here. Okay, but whereas in many to one, for multiple user threads, only one kernel thread is enough. Okay, here there may be here the drawback is creating a user thread requires creating a corresponding kernel thread, and it is burdens the performance of an application. That is the difficulty. Okay, every time when you create a user thread, you need to create a kernel thread in one-to-one model. Okay, because of the overhead of creating the kernel threads can burden the performance of the application. Most implementations of this model restrict the number of threads supported by the system. Okay, so this, because how many threads we have, user threads we have, those many kernel threads also need to be created here. Okay, that because that will automatically burdens the performance of an application. So we will restrict the number of threads a system can have. That itself will be restricted by using this model. Okay, if we have more threads, we need to create more kernels. Okay, so the number of threads itself will be restricted in this type of model using systems. Okay, one-to-one model, this is the difficulty. Like whenever user thread is created, that requires creating a corresponding kernel thread also in one-to-one model. For this example is Windows NT, Windows XP and Windows 2000. Linux is the one-to-one model example operating systems which are using one-to-one model. Windows NT, Windows XP, Windows 2000, Linux will use one-to-one model. Okay. Next one is many-to-many model. Here in many-to-many model, here we have seen the drawback of using one-to-one, and we have seen the drawback of many-to-one. To overcome that, we have come with many-to-many model. Okay, here one-to-one model restricts the creating more user threads. Okay, one-to-one is restricting the creating more user threads. If you create the more user threads in one-to-one model, we need to create more kernel threads also. That's the reason we are restricting creating the more user threads in one-to-one model. Whereas in drawback of many-to-one is, in this many-to-one model will allows creating more user threads, but kernel can schedule only one thread at a time. Okay, only one thread can execute with the kernel at a time in many to one model. That is the drawback of many to one model. Okay, and these drawbacks can be overcome by many to many model. We'll see the model. You can see it looks like this. Many to many. Many user threads will be having the many kernel threads. Okay, and which allows many user level threads to be mapped to the many kernel level threads. Okay, we can say that which will multiplexes many user level threads to a smaller or equal number of kernel threads. Okay, here the kernel threads can be smaller or equal level of user threads in many to many. Many user threads will be mapped with many kernel threads. The kernel threads can be equal or less than the user threads in many to many model. Okay. Yeah. And it allows the operating system to create a sufficient number of kernel threads. It allows operating system to create sufficient number of kernel threads. And when thread performs a blocking system call, okay, if a thread performs a blocking system call here, will it affect the system execution? No. Here, when a thread performs a blocking system call, the kernel can schedule another thread for execution. Okay, if one thread will calls the blocking system call, the kernel will schedule another thread to perform its execution in many to many model, because we have many kernels and many user threads. Okay, many kernel threads and many user threads. If one thread performs the blocking system call, the kernel can schedule another thread for execution. That is the advantage of many-to-many model. And it allows the user level thread to bound to the kernel thread, and this is referred as two-level model. Okay, it allows the user level thread to be bound to kernel thread. Okay, that is referred as two-level model. For this example is Solaris prior to the version 9 is the example for many-to-many model, and Windows NT, Windows 2000 with the threaded fiber package is an example for many-to-many model. Understood, right? Here you can see the which will multiplexes the many user level threads to the smaller or equal number of kernel threads. Here the number of kernel threads may be specific to the either a particular application or a particular mission. Okay, number of kernel threads will be depends on the application. Okay, but usually the number of kernels will be less than the user threads, or it can be equal to the user threads also. Okay, and here the developer can create a as many user threads as necessary. Developer can create as many user threads as necessary, and the corresponding kernel threads can run in parallel on the multi-processor system. Okay, here here in that many to one model, that was restricting to run the threads in parallel on the multi-processing system. Okay, that drawback can be overcome by using this many to many model. Okay, these are the three different models which will be used to establish the relationship between the user level thread and the kernel level threads. Okay, we have discussed here two types of threads. One is user level thread, other one is kernel level thread. And user threads are created and managed by the thread libraries, whereas the kernel threads are directly managed by the operating system. Okay, and there must be relationship between the user threads and the kernel threads. These relationship will be established by using these three models, that is many to one to one model, many to many model. Okay, in many to many model we'll be having the many user threads and many kernel threads. Okay, in one to one model we'll be having for every one user thread we will be having a kernel thread, and in many to one model we'll be having many user threads and single kernel thread.